Good evening, good evening, good evening, good people. How is everybody doing on this cold, brisk night? Had a long day, y'all, but I am back on here once again. I told you I would at least try to do at least one um, video per day. Um, and maybe I'll advance again to two. We'll see how it goes. But just to start off, like always, I want to thank my subscribers and viewers. Um, Please take anything that resonates to you and for you um, out of this situation. Um, Once again, I would like to send out my condolences to the Whitaker family on the passing of Shakira Whitaker. Um, she will truly be missed by me. Um, and this one definitely has hit home very hard for me. So I definitely want to let her family know that all of the thoughts and prayers, everything, go out to them and to her little boy and her sisters and brothers and most of all her mother, because she lost a child, and that has to be hard. So um, definitely, I wanted to say that first. I want to talk tonight about the legal system and keeping it out of your situation as much as possible. And there's so many different situations that I can go towards um, when I talk about this topic. Um, First off, let's talk about uh, calling the cops on anybody, and this can be man or woman doing it to man or woman. Okay. Um, or spouse against spouse, partner against partner, whatever. Be cautious on that. From that perspective, um, it's it's kind of difficult once you make the phone call. Um, and I guess I can give certain scenarios even on that. If it's man and woman, a lot of times the legal system will favor the woman. Um, and depending on the situation, that has transpired and that has happened, they will definitely favor the woman. Um, Now, if it's woman against woman, or if it's man against man, it may be a little bit different. Um, and I really can't speak on that because, you know, um, I've never had a situation like that. But when it comes down to spouse against spouse, you really need to be careful with that because once you make that phone call and it happens, you can't take it back. You know. Um, and then another thing is, it's money involved. This is what the legal system is made to do. It's made to constantly cost you money. So then there's fines involved with that. Um, Bail if you go to jail, um, court cost, all of that money that could have been spent in the home is now going towards something that should not even be. Now I'm gonna tell you like this: any man that puts his hands on a woman, and vice versa, any woman that puts her hands on a man, and it's severe, even if it's not severe, you deserve the cops to get called on you. I'm gonna be straight up enough to tell you that. You know, um, I was always raised that you never hit a woman and you're a punk if you do. So I believe in that theory. Thank God I've never had to. So I'll say that you deserve to have the cops called on you if you put your hands on a female, and vice versa. If you females put your hand on a male, you deserve it. Um, Vandalism, destroying other property, things like that. That can kind of get worked out. It depends if your partner, spouse, whatever is going to pay for it. If they ain't going to pay for it, you might have to bite that one too, where the consequences may fall into the hands of the law. But even in that, I'll say this too: be careful, try to work it out. If it's just vandalism to each other's property, try to work it out as much as you can. Keep the law out. That's what they want you to do. They want you to call, and they want to have something to do. And it could be something as small as, um, breaking someone's window in their car or something like that, when it could be paid for, and you calling the cops made it that much, that like 10 times worse, because now they're thinking, oh, you could have harmed a person, they could have been in a car when you bust the window, what if the glass would have shattered in their face. They make up so many different things and so many different scenarios they put on this thing after they're called, that it hurts the relationship even more. You guys are over it and trying to rekindle it, but uh, you still have to fight that in court. And now you have to try to face all of these charges that were put on you just for breaking a window. You see where I'm going at? So it's best to just not even call them. If there was something that happened between you, your partner, you, your spouse, whatever, then try to work it out. Especially if you two know the reason why, because no one else knows but you two. I don't care how many people you get involved, it's only you and that person. You are the only ones that know what really happened. And even if someone else heard the conversation, they still don't know exactly what happened. Unless you were actually there to see the whole thing and know each side, you don't know the story. Okay. Um, and I'll give you guys a very good example because you know, this recently happened, and I can say this straight up to me. But getting the courts involved, even when it comes down to your kids, it's a bad idea. It's a bad idea. Okay, straight up, it is. They make all of this decisions. They favor, um, they may favor one parent. They may, uh, do joint custody. But why do you need the court system to decide what you two can do for your child, when you can easily sit down with one another and work the problems out? There is no court system that can come in and tell you how to raise your kids. It's not going to work, I'm telling you. Because I'll tell you what happens: the child gets divided. That's what happens. Now they're in the system. That's exactly what happens. They get divided. So the child gets slighted during Christmas time, holidays, you know, uh, Easter, birthdays, and everything, because they can't have both parents there, you know, because one parent may have that child on that weekend of a birthday or a holiday or something like that. They get slighted when it could have been worked out between the mother and the father. That's not cool. It's not. I wasn't a system child. I'm being straight up enough to say that that's not how I was raised. I wasn't raised like that. So I did not plan that for my children at all. I didn't want to plan it for my child. Um, and I did not want it planned for my nieces or my nephews because our parents did not have us in the system, you know. Now, at one point in time, did my dad pay child support? Yeah, he did. You know, he and my mom wasn't always legally married, so he had to pay child support. And I seen him go through that struggle. That should never happen to a good father. That should never happen to a father that wants to be in their child's life. Share that custody. When that child's with you, you make sure that child is provided for. When the child is with the father, that father makes sure that that child is provided for. Anything else that that child needs, then you guys talk about it together. That's how it. That's how it's supposed to be. What do you need a judge to tell you that for? It's pretty stupid. Everybody in the situation, both parents, have a right to know where that child is at all times. I don't care what anybody else says. They have a right to know at all times. I don't care how you feel like you need to make that um known that you should know where your child is. Even if it's a short text message or something to say, "Hey, look, so and so going to be here. I just wanted to let you know um because I'm not going to be around." That's it. That's how it should be. A mother or a father should not have to worry about where their child is at any point in time. They should know it. That is not fair. And I don't care who says it is, it's not fair. It's not. I was with my child all the time since she was born. Okay. So to transition, uh, it's it's been hard. It's a hard thing. I thank God that today and yesterday I had a chance to see her. See, look, she gave me this. But it's been hard for both of us because we're used to seeing each other. We're used to being around each other. She's used to coming home and seeing her father. That's just what it is, you know. So, and like I always say, my oldest, she's older, so she can kind of deal with that. But the young one, for her to be divided, it's not a cool thing. And for the system to even try to make that decision, that's not cool either. You got to learn how to pick and choose your battles. And it's just a simple, yo, this is where he and she is going to be. And I'm just letting you know, just in case anything happens. I'm going to tell you straight up, this is how I feel. And this ain't throwing no shades at anybody. I'm being straight up about this. If anything happens to my child and I'm not around her, I'm blaming her mother. It's the truth. I can only the common saying is if something happens to a child, where's the parent? I can only blame her mom because I did not know where she was. I did not know what was going on. And it's not to make anyone feel bad. It's, just me telling the truth. I'm not throwing shade. That's the common saying. If something happens to the child, where were the parents? That's what's going to get asked first. And you have to think about that. That's a common. So do you need a judge to make that decision for you? No, because a judge may not make that decision in the right way. Honestly, you know, I witnessed something recently. I ain't gonna go into too many details, but I seen the way the system is created. you know. I thank God for the justice part of it, but the lecture was like, yeah, right. You know what I mean? You have a right to know where your child is at all time if you're a parent, okay? You don't need a judge to say that you should do this, you should do that. If you're a real mother, you're a real father, you take care of that child. Take care of that child. You don't need anyone to tell you to do that. That child did not ask to come here. They didn't ask to uh, be a part of a life that was going to be divided or a family that was going to be divided. It's your job to shield that child's eyes from that division by any means necessary. This is why I always said in my other videos, take self out of it. If you take self out, you'll make the right decisions for the child. Stop making decisions for yourself, people. You parents, stop making the decisions for yourself. It's not about you. It stopped being about you when you decided to have those kids. That is so selfish. Oh, I needed to do this for myself. I had to do this because this happened or they did this to me. That is so selfish. You're not thinking of anything or anybody else but you. This is why you have to take self out. It's not fair. That child will grow up. It's going, he or she is going to be very, very messed up psychologically. And I don't care how normal you think they may be, there's some issues there. Go and ask anybody who was not in a family home with two parents where biologically one was missing. They'll tell you. Honestly, they get slighted. Everything does not happen the way that they want. And then you guys add the court system, and that just messes it up even more. Stop. Just open up. Talk to you parents. We ain't talking about you as husband, wife, um, partners, anything. We're not talking about that. We're talking about as parents. Sit down, have a conversation, come up with a plan for your kids because it needs to happen. It has to stop. Seriously, it has to stop. These people just want our money, y'all. That's all they want. They want our money. I'm seeing this wholeheartedly. It's real. And then they have a nerve to tell you what you can and can't do and how you can raise your child and how it should be. No, that's nonsense. Y'all better stop listening to that stuff. Why do you need the legal system to tell you what is right? You already know what's right and wrong. You're a grown person. That's it. And then now, because you parents wanted to do it, the child is hurting and suffering. Then when you ask that child, it's always, oh, this and that. They're never going to get the truth because, you never really want to throw the other person under the bus. I don't. Not at all. I will never do that. I'm never going to do that. I'm never going to throw the other person under the bus. Not by any means necessary. I don't care how many times I was thrown under the bus. Me personally, I would never want um, neither one of my girls to hear or me even thinking that I'm going to say something bad about their mother. And no parent should do that. It shouldn't happen. It's not cool. And then you add the legal system and it gets that much worse. Another thing that kind of bothers me, let me tell you something. Legal system or no legal system. I think I broke this down before with the marriage situation. Okay. It's another money scheme. This is people scheming money, and these marriages, that's what they want to do. That's the first thing is, oh, pay for the divorce and we made some money off of you. So all of these court fees and all of that, then you got to go through this, you got to go through that. So more money. Then if we have to fight for certain things, oh, that's more money because you might have to, pay an attorney and all of that. That's money on top of money. That's money that could be spent in your home when y'all could sit down and come up with an agreement and present it to the judge, get it done quick, fast, and in a hurry, one and done. If you got to go that way. But even with the divorce thing, you know what I mean? Like literally, just to hear some of the things that came out of my situation, and this judge and what she said, I'm just like, huh? You know, first off, I'm biblically, I am a Christian, and we don't even call ourselves Christians. We call ourselves spiritual. So I'm a spiritual man. Okay, I'm a believer. That's how I'm going to put that. And as a believer, I know what the Bible tells me about marriage, and I don't know, you know, how she may have gotten married or anybody else, but I was married by an ordained minister. Okay, and at any cost, I can fight if I want to. That's my business. It's none of nobody else's business. Seriously. And what was said to me, I was just like, wow, this is crazy. You can tell that the system is set up to fail us. And I'm telling y'all this because this is what they're trying to do. It's all a money scheme. It is. It's set up this way. Keep the legal system out of your situation, period. Anything. Now, unless there's some real physical abuse, I'm talking about them hitting you. That's abuse. And if they're verbally attacking you every day, that's abuse. It is. I'm talking about every day. I ain't talking about just when you argue, spare the moment arguments and you say something to the person and they say something back to you. That ain't abuse. But if they attacking you every day, that's abuse. Yes, that's very toxic. Get out of it. I'm straight up enough to say, get out of that type of situation. Go get some help. You know what I mean? I will run to the courthouse with you, whatever I got to do. If that person is verbally and mentally really attacking you the way that you say, go and get some help. Seriously. It's a must. If they're and I'm saying that with a bold voice because I don't like people that abuse people. I really don't. I don't like people that constantly attack people every day. I bear witness to that. It's not a good thing at all. Not. Don't do it. If I got any watchers out there that are viewers and subscribers that is doing stuff like that, don't do that. It's not a good thing. Just be careful on when and how you get the law involved. Just be careful. That's all I'm telling y'all. Because the system is set up for us to either fail or for them to get paid. One or the other. They either going to get some money out of you or you're going to jail. And then you and your partner, spouse, whatever, y'all might find a way to rekindle, and all of this mess. It's like, that's a lot. That's a lot to really deal with. How am I supposed to swallow that pill? If you're not where I am, then you ain't gonna be able to swallow nothing. You first gotta really take a deep look inside yourself and get self together in order to be able to sustain anything that happens to you, because it comes with maturity, it comes with spiritual growth, it comes with that self understanding that this is something that had to happen. People don't realize that if it didn't happen, it wasn't supposed to happen. But if it happened, it was already planned to happen. Y'all need to understand that. That's life. This life, y'all. Either you living it or you not living it. And if you ain't living it, that means you dead. And you ain't dead yet. So you're living it. Keep living life. What's up, Ken? Y'all gotta really think about things before you actually do it. If you do it and it's already done, and then you try to take it back, it's kind of hard, y'all. That's why I said that part is, it's a tough pill to swallow. It really is. You know? Yeah, bro. I'm doing the best that I could do right now. Um, yeah, we gonna talk. We gonna talk. But it's one of those things that you just have to really try to get together with the other person. Y'all got to sit down and y'all got to actually really figure out a plan. You got to come up with a plan, y'all. See, people don't really understand. I was saying this in one of my early videos, and you know, um, I'm sorry I had to take it down because they were actually beneficial to everything that I was doing. It was a connection that I was trying to make throughout all of it. Y'all have to come up with a plan through the whole process. This way, the plan works for everybody in the situation. If you don't come up with that plan, it's going to fail altogether. That's just like um, my 4 surgeries. Okay, I could take that and use that as an example. 4 surgeries. Okay, and out of each of them, there was a plan put in play before I had surgery. Okay, because I had to get prepped. First I had to get registered, then I had to get prepped. And after they prepped me, then they had to, you know, get me ready to go into the OR. And once I got into the OR, of course, they're going to put me to sleep. And after they put me to sleep, then the doctor comes in and he gets prepped and he starts to do his thing and everything. It's a process, but they planned that before it even happened. How was it planned? The first thing they did in the plan was they gave me the dates and times. That was the first step. They already prepped me on what was going to happen before I got into the hospital. We talked about it. That's called a game plan. This is how y'all need to set a game plan up in y'all relationships. If you decide that it's not going to work, you got to have a game plan. And the best game plan will be executed the right way. That's it. And the most important thing, this is why we have a lot of problems in the court system. There's no closure. There's no closure. Somebody get mad at somebody and they tell them to, get the stepping and all that, but you start to figure out like, wait a minute, it wasn't this bad. Like, what happened from this time to this time? You never told the person what really is going on. Is the truth out there? And then you find out later on, it's like, what happened? Y'all gotta have that closure. You gotta have that talk. It's gotta happen. And you can't have it whenever you want. It needs to happen right then and there. Everybody needs to know everything. They have a right to know everything so that they know which way they want to go with their self too. If you don't tell somebody what's going on, it's kind of like stringing them along. You don't have to say it. You are. That's stringing them along. That's how the legal things get involved because you can't control how the other person may feel after the fact of knowing everything. So take that into consideration. And we're gonna talk, y'all. We're gonna talk about a lot more things. All right. I love y'all. Peace. Try to get some